parang may nagkaroon ng time na nawala yung self-worth ko.
You know, you have to work to help your husband with the finances, to help prepare finances for your children for their future.
Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, pag age mo ng 35, wala na. Para kasing etsapuera ka na.
And it feels like hindi ko alam kung paano ko mag-gain yung confidence ko pag naging mom na sila. Parang nawawala na yung career path nila.
Kasi na-fed up ako sa sobrang traffic. So, papasok, dahil madaling araw, either mag-grab ako or mag-aangkas, which is malaki-laki yung expenses.
The time spent with your kids and family are far more important than any job title out there.
Nag-decide ako na maghanap ng online job at nakakuha nga ako. Sobrang saya ko talaga. Kaya tinulungan ko rin yung iba kong mga mommy friends at nagkaroon rin sila ng sarili nilang online job. Kaya doon ako na-inspire at nag-decide na simula ng Filipina home-based moms.
FH Moms community was created for mothers, for single women, for women professionals and entrepreneurs, for women overseas Filipino workers, for differently abled women, and even for young at heart women. FH Moms is a women community.
Nung nagsimula yung FH Moms, hindi ko in-expect na ganito ka magiging malaki. Ngayon, meron na kaming more than 250,000 members nationwide. Dati, ang tingin ng mga tao sa amin, community lang. No? Ngayon, social enterprise na kami with different projects na tumutulong sa mga kababaihan.
We have free webinars about freelancing, entrepreneurship, parenting, and personal growth. We offer online short courses as well as mastery courses with trainers' 1-year support. We also run a scholarship program and an internship program. We also facilitate charity activities where we are joined by community members as volunteers. Job matching program is something they can also look forward to, as well as e-commerce program. And to celebrate motherhood, we also have online bootcamp for kids. We also have the computer rent-to-own program for members who need assistance in acquiring a computer set. Aspire to be a strong-willed, independent woman.
Mas gusto kong maging productive at saka naniniwala ako sa continuous learning.
Inspire other women.
Everyone was uplifting each other. Everyone was trying to help each other. In this world, you have to be more kind. You have to be more helpful because everyone is fighting their own battles, and you have to understand, you have to empathize, and that is what FH Moms is doing with all the moms out there. Even if you're not a mom, you would feel welcome.
Empower each woman to be in their fullest potential.
And most importantly, Mommy MK and the team model humility and generosity. Talagang ito yung very evident, which impacted me the most. So it gave me the desire to share freely to others what I learned freely from the FH Moms community. And I've always loved the community, the motive of the community, that is to change the world one mom at a time. Good job, FH Moms.
Aspire, inspire, empower. Nothing is stronger than a community of women lifting each other up.
To be among women who have genuinely tried to help people. This is something that I feel passionately about, and then this is something that I saw in FH Moms.
God is good. Kasi parang naturo sa akin to FH Moms na pinakita sa akin na kahit nasa bahay ka, kahit nag-aalaga ka ng anak mo, it won't stop na dun ka lang. Yun lang yung pwede mong gawin.
Without this community, I'm not here in this situation. So FH Moms po yung nag-guide and nag-mold sa akin to be the best working at home mom I could ever be.
Ang pinakamalaking impact sa FH Moms sa akin is their quote, which is moving forward, giving back. That's the very essence of FH Moms eh.
That's what I like about this group kasi we encourage and inspire each other to keep dreaming, to chase our dreams. It's actually a big impact kasi if you are losing hope and wala ka ng gana and all, but because of this page, mapapasana all ka.
Dahil sa online job, natupad ko yung mga pangarap ko at ang pinakapangarap ko na lang ay matupad yung pangarap ng lahat ng mga mommies. Huwag tayong titigil na abutin lahat ng mga pangarap natin, masipagan pa natin at huwag tayong susuko. Kaya kung feeling nyo hindi kayo techie, feeling nyo hindi pasok ang edad nyo para dito sa online freelancing, huwag nyong iisipin yon kasi sobrang daming opportunities ang pwedeng ibigay sa inyo online. At nandito ang Filipino home-based moms para suportahan kayo. Para sa mga naghahanap ng online job at gusto ring matuto pagdating sa online business, you can join Filipino Home-Based Moms Facebook group. My name is MK Bertulfo, CEO and founder of Filipino Home-Based Moms, and our goal is to change lives one mom at a time.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our webinar tonight. It's entitled Earning Online as an ESL Teacher. So, hello muna. Mag-antay-antay tayo. Let's wait for the others para mas marami tayo, mas enjoy, and there will be more of you who will be learning a lot tonight. Hopefully, marami kayong matutunan from me tonight, especially in about the ESL industry. Right, so before we begin, let me just ask you this question first. So, how familiar are you with teaching ESL? Is it A, is this your first time to know about ESL teaching? Or perhaps B, you are or you know someone who is an ESL teacher? Or letter C, you've heard of ESL teaching and you just want to know how it really works. So comment your answer below para at least ma-acknowledge natin mamaya. Okay, so who are already ESL teachers here, who are like newbies perhaps in this industry, baka makatulong din ang ating webinar tonight. Sino yung mga hindi pa nakakarinig about the ESL industry or wala silang idea about the ESL industry? So comment your answers below so we can know more about you as well. And leave a comment na din kung where are you watching from, because I am actually from Iloilo. So hello to all of those who are watching from Western Visayas. So leave a comment below and we'll see if you find this webinar tonight really helpful. Sana po. During this time, I know all of us really want to start working from home. So yung iba natatakot to start their journey as an ESL teacher. Maybe after this webinar tonight, and perhaps if you should or if you decide to take the short courses here in FH Moms, baka ma-convince kayo and why you should go into ESL teaching. All right? Sige, so let's begin. So the overview of our webinar tonight. So I'll be introducing myself first, okay, trainer introduction, and then we'll be talking about ESL teaching. So bibigyan ko kayo ng overview about it. Next would be online teaching in general, and lastly would be the short course information ng FH Moms dun sa English proficiency and ESL online teaching. All right? So, let me introduce myself first. I am Heide Bernabe, okay? So you can call me Heidi. So, or just mom, okay, or mommy Heidi. Don't call me coach, don't call me ma'am, okay? So, okay na ako sa Heides lang, or Heidi, or mommy Heidi, or mom, that would be fine. So, as you can see, I graduated with 2 degrees. Pero hindi po sila English, hindi din po education. So I graduated first with a degree in commerce. Major ko po nun is management information systems. And then sumunod, I took up nursing. So as you can see, I am actually a registered nurse. Okay, so registered nurse po ako, but I never got to practice my profession as a nurse kasi when I graduated, or actually, while I was studying pa lang po nursing, I was already an ESL teacher then. So I started as an ESL teacher in 2003. So that's around like 18 years ago. Okay? So, nag-start po ako office-based na man-to-man tutor lamang from 2003 to 2006. Tapos, na-promote po ako, naging office-based naman na supervisor ng mga tutors from 2006 to 2009. And then, I co-managed one of the biggest ESL academies in Iloilo City from 2009 to 2013. So, dito ko po nalaman and it was also the time na parang na-expose talaga ako on the struggles of newbies in the ESL industry. Ano ba yung mga common problems nila when it comes to grammar or pronunciation or their teaching skills. Tapos ano ba yung mga usual complaints ng mga students sa kanila. So it was during this time that I was exposed to that. And I started my home-based freelance journey in 2013 when I decided to quit my job dun sa academy na yon, tapos nag-home base na ako. And then I also teach Filipino kids. I do copywriting and I also have my own businesses on the side. So, ganun siya ka-flexible na klase ng work because you can still do a lot of things on the side. Okay? So now, let's talk about the introduction to ESL teaching. So, ano nga ba yung ESL? Naririnig natin siya. ESL. So, what is ESL? So, ESL actually stands for English as a Second Language. So, ESL. Yan po yung meaning yan. English as a second language. So, a lot of Asian and European countries use English as their second language. So, kahit na po tayong mga Pilipino, kasi hindi po natin first language yung English, Filipino is our first language. Second language din po natin yung English. Okay? So, yung mga countries that have English as their first language, so we call the speakers as native speakers kasi first language nila yung English. So, that includes like America, Canada, the United Kingdom, okay, Australia. So, imagine, mabibilang nyo lang po kung ilan pong mga countries ang English is their first language. So, the rest, okay, especially sa Asia pa lang po, napakalaki na ng market kasi hindi po natin first language yung English. That means marami po ang gustong matuto ng English. Right? So, the next question, okay, that we would often hear, so sino nga ba ang pwede? Who can be an ESL teacher? Right? So, for me, okay, these are the answers that I would usually give. So, anyone, let's start with the first one. Anyone who has the love and interest in English. Siyempre, dapat interesado ka rin naman sa English. Because if you're not interested in English, then I guess you are really going to have a hard time teaching it. Kasi nga, it's not really your interest, right? The second one is anyone who knows basic English and has the desire to develop that skill. So, I believe na tayong mga Pilipino, we have this basic English kasi we learned English since we were in kindergarten, okay? Tapos mas na-enhance pa siya nung nasa high school na tayo. So, of course, how much more kung nag-college ka, so ginagamit mo talaga yung English. And it doesn't stop there, okay? So, kailangan meron kang desire sa sarili mo na i-improve mo pa yung English skills mo or i-develop mo pa siya, right? The third one is anyone who finds joy in sharing her knowledge or stories and ideas. So, in simple words, machika ka, okay? So, you are someone na you find joy, nasisiyahan ka, na nagsishare ka ng mga stories, nag-exchange kayo ng ideas with another person. Kasi if you're not really much of a talker, kung medyo matahimik ka lang, then it's also going to be a struggle for you on how to keep the class interesting. So dapat yung mga taong nasisiyahan silang magkwento, then you might consider getting this job. Right? And the last one is anyone with the right attitude and drive to pursue this profession. So I guess kahit naman siguro with any jobs or online jobs that we are applying for, hinahanap talaga is you have the right attitude. Meaning, open ka to learnings, even if they tell you like negative feedbacks, you're open to it kasi it's still something for you to learn from, diba? And then you have that drive, okay? You develop that passion na i-pursue mo yung profession na to. Because just like me, I never intended to stay in the ESL industry. As you can, or if you can still remember dun sa introduction ko, nag-graduate ako ng commerce, and then I took up nursing with the plans of like moving to another country, kasi nga nurses earn really a lot, okay, abroad, di po ba? But then because at that time na nag-aaral ako ng nursing, I was also teaching English to Koreans, so I developed that passion. Tapos na-realize ko na, yeah, although I wanted to earn more also, but then you already find that enjoyment, nasisiyahan ka na in what you're doing. So eventually, over the years, you develop that love for what you do. So, kung tama lang po yung attitude natin, tapos madedevelop na rin po yung passion natin or yung love natin for the chosen field that we want. Okay? Right. So, moving on, merong mga nagtatanong din, so what about a newbie? Can a newbie become an ESL teacher? Kasi marami po ang nag-worry na, wala po akong experience, it's my first time, it's like the first online job that I want to apply for, pwede po ba? So definitely my answer is a yes. Okay? So, bakit yes? Kasi nga, I also started as a newbie. Alright? So, hindi pa ako English major noon, hindi din ako education major. Wala, commerce graduate, nag-apply lang ako. Tapos, hindi ko pa alam yung mga tinatanong sa akin. So, but then, okay, I gave it a try. So, kasi nga, balik tayo with the right mindset, proper training, and confidence in your skills, absolutely yes. A newbie can still become an ESL teacher. Right? So, swerte nga ngayon because there are a lot of trainings, there are a lot of webinars that you can listen to, or kahit na sa YouTube, you can learn a lot. So, paano nga ba maging successful in this field? Back then, we didn't have those kinds of things. So, it was really a struggle. But then we were able to survive naman. Di po ba? So how much more na ngayon? Maraming resources for you to learn from and to like enhance your skills. Kahit na you don't have the budget yet to pay for those trainings. But then with the right mindset, tapos kung talagang determinado po kayo, then you can still do it. Right? So the next question that is often asked is, what are the tasks of an ESL teacher? Ano nga ba yung ginagawa ng mga ESL teachers? Okay? Kasi karamihan would have this idea na, nagchika-chika lang yan sila. Nagkukwentuhan lang sila. They just share stories. Okay? So that's right. But it's not all that we do. Hindi lang po yan. Okay? We do a lot of things. Right? So, first one, we conduct English lessons in one-on-one or group classes. Yes, tama po yung pagkakabasa ninyo, group classes. So, pag sinabi po natin one-on-one, meaning that's you, one teacher, and then one student. So, English class po kayo. It could be about, conversation lang. It can also be about grammar or about pronunciation, iba-ibang topics. Or it can also be a group class. Depende din po kung ano kadami yung students ninyo. It's possible na you, one as a teacher, and then yung students mo would be a small group of 4 or 6 students. Pero meron ding bigger groups like 1 teacher to 20 students. Okay? So, online lang po yan. Nagsasalita ka, nakikita ka nila sa video. So, it's possible. Right? Next, you also evaluate students' progress or make reports on their class performance. So, parang teachers lang din, regular teachers natin sa school, na gumagawa po tayo ng report cards, but not really yung report card natin, nag-grade tayo ng 100 or 90. No, we don't do that, okay? So, what we do is, ini-evaluate lang natin yung progress ng ating students, kung may nag-improve ba sa kanila or anong areas pa ba ang kailangan nilang tutukan, yung mga ganun lang. But we don't really give like numeric value kung ano na yung like how much they have improved in their skills, okay? And the last one there, as an add-on to your teaching role, okay, you cheer, you console, you advise, okay, etc. So I always tell my trainees that actually being an ESL teacher, it's like you wearing, okay, different hats every day. So iba-iba po yung yung sinusuot mo, okay? Para kang artista. You perform every day. Kasi depende yan. There are students, for example, na yung morning class mo, first class mo is antok pa siya sa class. So, dapat hyper ka kasi chini-cheer up mo siya para hindi siya antok, diba? Tapos, later naman in the afternoon, meron ka namang student who is actually feeling depressed kasi sa work niya, napagalitan siya, or sa school niya, yung mga ganon. So, you give advice. So, like I always say or I mention to my trainees na kailangan talaga ready ka for the different scenarios that might arise sa class, okay? So, minsan you become a cheerleader, you become an advisor, okay? Parang pwede din minsan na nagiging counselor nila, alright? A sister, a friend. So, sama-sama na yan lahat. So, those are the tasks. Okay? Or yung mga usual na nangyayari at ginagawa mo as an ESL teacher. Right? Okay. So now let's talk about naman, okay, the systems that ESL companies have. Ano yung mga kinds of classes nila? Ano yung mga level ng mga students, right? So first, let's talk about the company system. So I divided this into 2. So we have what we call the booking system and the fixed or assigned system. So pag sinabi po nating booking system, yung company nila, this means na ikaw as a tutor, hindi mo alam kung ilang oras ang iyong klase in a day or how many students are you going to have for that day. Kasi from the word booking, nagbo-book, meaning the students are the ones who will choose and book your class. So dito sa booking system na to, that these types of companies, usually dapat as you start or as you begin your career with them, nagpapakitang gilas ka talaga, okay? You really show off, okay? You really have to like make a good impression to your students kasi they will give you a good feedback na rin, and they will also recommend you to their other friends. So, meaning, wala kang control over the number of classes or the number of students that you are going to have. So, yung dun sa mga students nakadepend kung gaano karami ang iyong magiging classes. Right? So, that's what we call the booking system. The other kind of system that we have is what we call the fixed or assigned system. So, yung fixed or assigned system naman, ibig sabihin nito, yung company, nagpo-provide sila talaga ng fixed number of students for you. So, meaning to say, yung schedule mo, for example, like on Monday, you want to have classes from like 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, yung company, they will provide you with students for those time slots. So, sila na yung magbibigay ng students sa'yo. And then all you have to do is to conduct classes with them. So, alam mo na sa cut-off ng inyong payroll cycle, you know how much you are to receive or fixed na yung amount mo or yung salary mo kasi yan yung number of students that you will really have in the whole cycle. Okay? Hindi siya katulad ng booking system na hindi definite kung magkano yung susweldohin mo kasi nga it depends kung gaano karami ang magbo-book ng class mo. So with these two types of systems, actually, they have their own advantages and disadvantages as well. So for example, the booking system, yung disadvantage niya nga is wala kang control over the number of students that you are going to have or yung salary mo, wala kang control over doon. But then, the good thing about the booking system naman, yung advantage niya is very flexible siya. So, meaning, you're free to choose kung anong oras mo lang gustong mag-conduct ng classes. Right? Tapos, usually, the booking system, yung mga companies na to, they provide you with their materials na sobrang easy nila. Okay, so parang hindi siya as stressful, okay, compare dun naman sa fixed or assigned system. Yung fixed or assigned system, yung schedule mo talaga fixed siya, 'di ba? So advantage nun kasi yung sweldo mo, yung sasahurin mo is also definite talaga. But then yung disadvantage naman is yung time, it's also fixed. Meaning, hindi mo siya pwedeng, ay, bukas ayokong mag-class. Hindi po pwede yon. So, talagang, pag sinabi mong, ito yung aking availability, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. So, that's every day. Maybe except on weekends, depende sa company. Okay? Then, it's really fixed for you. And then, yung sa materials naman for their classes. So, for the fixed system, merong companies na sila mismo nagpro-provide ng materials. But there are others na you have to find your own materials for the students, right? So again, depende yan sa company that you will choose. Okay? So companies may have students from Japan, Korea, China, Turkey, Russia, etc. So yung binigay ko lang po dito, these are the common ones. Okay? So especially yung top 3 natin, Japan, Korea, and China, they are actually the biggest market for us ESL teachers. Okay? So, pero you'll be surprised na hindi lang pala Asian countries. Okay? Meron palang maraming European countries who are also looking for Filipino ESL teachers. Right? So, the types of class naman, it can be a video class, an audio class, or even a chat class. So, sa video class, from the word video, so meaning, kailangan mo talaga ng camera and then you really see your student tapos nakikita ka din ng student mo. So, basically, yung ginagamit dyan would be Skype, Zoom, or yung platform na ginagamit mismo ng company if they have one. Right? Yung audio class naman, from the word audio, so meaning, no need for cameras, okay? So, audio lang talaga. Headset lang yung kailangan mo, hindi mo na kailangan ng camera, hindi mo na kailangan mag-makeup, hindi ka na kailangan maligo or magsuklay, okay? Kasi nga, boses mo lang naman yung pinakikinggan ng student. But then, you have to be careful kasi sa audio class, usually these companies are very strict when it comes to yung background noise. So, dapat gusto nila tahimik talaga para makakoncentrate yung student sa boses mo. Kasi nga hindi na nakikita yung mukha mo. Right? So, chat, yes, it's possible. Meron pong companies na they use chat as their mode of teaching, or their classes, or how their classes are conducted. So I have encountered this personally. Their students are Koreans, tapos yung gamit po nila is Kakao Talk. Yun, nag-chat lang talaga kayo ng students of there. You don't speak, okay? Hindi kanya nakikita, hindi kanya naririnig. Nag-chat lang kayo. You might think that it's easy. Yung iba kasi excited pag nakita nila, ay, chat lang yan, okay, non-voice. So, it's actually not really easy. Sa unang tingin lang natin, no, easy siya, but actually it's not. Because in doing chat, in teaching through chat, kailangan po mabilis kayo kasi meron silang required time na it's like your response time kung paano ka or gaano kabilis ka sumagot sa sentences or sa chat ng student. But at the same time, you also have to be really, really good at grammar. Okay? Really good talaga yan. Kasi, mabilis ka dapat magbasa ng chat message ng student, tapos mabilis mo ding ma-point out yung errors niya sa sentences. Kasi, i-chat back mo sa kanya yung corrections sa kanyang sentences. Right? So, actually, mas challenging siya kasi meron ka pang mga punctuation na i-consider. Ano ba dapat? Comma ba dapat? Period ba dapat? Yung mga ganon. Unlike kung nag-uusap kayo, 'di ba? Hindi mo naman binabasa yung period or yung comma. So, it's only maybe when you hear it out chat, it's easy, okay? But actually it's not. It's equally as difficult din siguro for others doing video or audio class, right? So, like I mentioned earlier, it could be a one-on-one or a group class. So, depende po yan sa companies. There are those na purely one-on-one classes lang yung ino-offer nila. While there are those na may combination. Merong one-on-one, tapos may group class din silang ibinibigay sa inyo. Of course, conducting group classes meaning mas malaki po yung bayad dyan. Okay? So, what are the types of classes or the kinds of classes that we have? So, to name a few, meron po tayong grammar, conversation, vocabulary class, meron din pong business, tsaka test preparation. Ano ba tong test preparation na to? Test preparation includes po yung mga like how to answer the IELTS, or for example, sa Korea, they have their TOEIC. So, usually yung gusto nila dyan na i-practice is yung speaking part. Okay, so speaking part ng IELTS, speaking part ng TOEIC. So, of course, pag mas mahirap po yung itinuturo, that also means na mas malaki din po yung bayad sa inyo. Alright? But normally, sa mga usual na mga companies naman, yung itinuturo lang talaga would be grammar, conversation, vocabulary, discussion, those are the usual things. Okay? So, age group naman tayo. As young as 2 years old, and as young at heart as 70. Okay? So, yes, huwag kayong magtaka. 2 years old, nag-aaral na. Yeah, there are some parents, I think, especially mothers, yung kinakareer talaga nila, right? Yung English skills ng kanilang mga anak. So, bata pa lang, they really push their kids to learn English. So, as young as 2 years old, especially among Chinese. So, nag-aaral na yung mga bata. And then, meron ding matatanda. Of course, merong in between. There are elementary school students, of course, high school students, may mga university students then, and then professionals. Okay, so you'll encounter, magugulat ka na lang, you have students who are actually doctors or pilots. Okay, you'll be surprised na, ay, ganun na yung career niya, pero nag-aaral pa rin siya ng English. Right? And of course, don't be surprised kasi especially naman among Japanese, marami ding old-aged sa kanila. Usually, these are retirees, nag-retire na sa mga trabaho nila, and they find it boring to just stay home and have nothing to do. So, they opt to study English online. So, you'll encounter students who are 65 years old, 70 years old, or even 75 years old. Nag-aaral pa din, right? And what about the level of students? So we have beginners, intermediate, and advanced levels. So, ano ba tong classification ng levels? So, when we talk about level of students, ito po yung English proficiency level nila, kung gaano sila kagaling when it comes to English. So, of course, when you hear the word beginner, so meaning, ito po sila yung mga hindi pa masyadong maraming alam sa English. They cannot even make sentences sometimes. It could be words lang po yung sinasabi nila. Hindi sila makakompose ng one whole or one complete sentence. Pag tinatanong mo, minsan yes or no lang yung alam isagot. While intermediate, ito naman po yung mga nakaka-understand na ng mga questions ninyo. They also know how to make sentences, pero meron pa ding mga you still have to correct their grammar or even suggest better vocabulary. Yung advanced levels naman, sila po yung mga naka-experience ng mag-aral abroad. For example, they spent a year in Canada or in Australia. Tapos, when you listen to them, parang they sound like native speakers already. Pero gusto pa rin nilang mag-continue mag-aral online. It's because in their country, pagbalik na nila ng Japan or ng Korea, for example, they have no one to practice their English with. So, nag-aaral sila online para lang makontinue yung kanilang practice when it comes to their English conversation, right? Next, what are the equipment and system requirements for ESL teachers? So, yung pinapaka-importante dyan, yung pinaka talaga is dapat wired po yung ating internet connection. When we say wired, talagang nakakonect po tayo sa mayroon tayong connection sa ating modem. Okay, so we use a LAN for that. So bawal po sa kanila yung Wi-Fi. You can use like pocket Wi-Fi's na lang if or you use it as an alternative, for example, parang backup mo siya na internet connection, that would be fine. Pero as a main, okay, like connection for your classes, especially when you have your interview or your demo with them, sa application process mo pa lang, chine-check talaga nila if you have a wired connection. Right? Yung speed requirement naman po, it depends on the company. Okay? So, merong iba, they would require like medyo mabagal lang, like 3 Mbps would be fine with them. While there are others na very strict, they want like 10 or 20 Mbps. So, syempre, pag nakita po natin na mas mabilis yung hinahanap nilang internet speed, that would also mean na mas malaki dapat yung sweldo nila sa inyo. Kasi nga, mas mataas yung requirements nila. Alright? So, again, it's also the same for a laptop or desktops. Yung specs po vary sa companies kasi merong ibang companies that they have their own platform. So, kailangan, for example, dapat naka at least i3 ka or i5 kasi yung platform nila, meaning yan yung ginagamit nila sa mga classes nila. Hindi siya magra-run if you use a lower version. Okay? So, meron namang ibang companies na wala silang sariling platform. So, they use Skype or Zoom pa rin sa kanilang mga classes. So, hindi naman sila masyadong stricto sa specs ng inyong computers. Alright? A headset and a camera. So, of course, meron talagang companies that would strictly require you to use a headset with a noise cancelling feature. Okay? So, usually, mahal po talaga sila yung mga headset with noise cancelling features. Pero, para advice lang din naman for those na who are just starting tapos hindi pa kayang bumili ng headsets with noise cancelling features. Just choose yung magagandang headset and then try to find a place in your house na very minimal yung background noise para during your interview and your class demo, pumasa po kayo kahit na hindi po or wala pong noise cancelling feature ang inyong mga headset. right? So there are other companies naman na hindi sila very strict about the noise canceling feature, as long as there is like no or not really a lot of background noise. Okay? Or meron ding iba gumagamit sila ng app. It's called Crisp para ma-zero out yung background noise. Alright? For cameras, pwede na po yung built-in cameras ng laptops natin. Or if you really want yung parang clear na clear talaga yung HD, then you can buy, okay, those cameras online naman para mas maganda tingnan yung videos mo. Alright? Next, let's talk about the working hours. So, how long nga ba or ano ba yung mga oras? So, working hours po, depende siya. It could be flexible and it could be a fixed schedule. So, I mentioned this earlier dun sa booking system, tapos sa fixed system, di ba? Flexible dun sa booking system kasi you have the freedom to choose kung anong oras mo gustong mag-conduct ng classes. Ito yung gustong-gusto ko, yung flexible. Okay? For example, like, I just came from a vacation for 2 days. So, 2 days akong walang classes kasi alam ko na yung internet connection sa pupuntahan namin is hindi masyadong maganda. So, hindi ako nag-open ng classes. But then, now that I'm back at home, so tomorrow, magsa-start ako from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock muna. Why? Kasi I have to prepare some things first for lunch. Tapos, after lunch, start na naman ako ng class. For example, 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock. So, pagkatapos nun, break muna kasi mag-prepare ako ng dinner. Then, sa gabi naman, if hindi pa ako pagod or kung wala akong other commitments, then I can have my classes. So, it's so flexible. You're free to choose kung anong oras mo gustong mag-class. Well, sa fixed schedule naman, binibigay talaga siya. It's like really going to work. So, 8 o'clock in the morning until 12 noon, tapos 6 p.m. naman hanggang 11 p.m. Yung mga ganun. So, fixed talaga siya. Hindi mo siya pwedeng mabago na, today I want to have class, tomorrow I don't want. Hindi po pwede. Basta fixed po siya. Right? Meron pong 24 hours a day, 7 days a week na po pwede po tayong mag-conduct ng class. Usually, this is true among the booking system ng mga companies, okay? Kasi nga flexible yung oras. So, 24/7, especially companies that cater international students na talagang from different countries sila. Mayroon from Asia, from Europe. So, hindi ka mawawala ng students 24 hours a day. Right? Then, we also have what we call peak hours and peak days. So, pag sinabing peak, so ito yung pinakamataas. Ito yung pag sinabi natin peak hours, these are the hours or yung mga oras na marami talagang students during this time. So, example nito, peak hours would be in the morning, like at 5 o'clock Philippine time, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Marami pa yan. Maraming students dyan kasi before they go to work, before they go to school, meron pang iba na nag-aaral pa ng English. And then, yung gabi talaga, yun yung napakaraming students. So, peak hours talaga yan. From 5 p.m. Philippine time hanggang 11 p.m. Yes, that's considered, okay, really peak hours. So, yung peak days naman, usually ito yung weekends and holidays sa kanilang bansa. Kasi wala silang magawa, then they have classes, right? So, others would ask, meron bang minimum teaching hours? So, actually, depende po yan sa company that you'll be working for. Meron companies that would require you that you should conduct 20 hours per week or 50 hours per week. Pero meron namang iba na you're free to choose kung how many hours lang ang gusto mong i-accommodate or i-conduct ng classes. But then, you have to remember na the number of hours you teach also determines how much salary you're gonna receive, right, during your cutoff. Alright, so what about the salary rate, the mode, and the schedule of payment? So, ito na siya. For one-on-one classes, meron pong as low as 60 pesos per 25 minutes. Okay? So, yung mababa talaga, 60 pesos per 25 minutes. 25 minutes So meaning yung 1 hour mo is 120 pesos. So that's like $3 na din. Pero usually, kung mababa yung rate, ito po yung tatandaan natin. Yung mababa ang rate, it also means na napakadali din po ng classes nila. As in, super easy po yung pag-conduct ng classes. That's why they give you this rate. But then, there are those that would offer you 500 per hour. So, depende. Mayroong iba, 200 per hour, 300 or 500 per hour. Ito naman po, depende din sa skills mo, okay, as an ESL teacher. So, kung masyadong magaling ka talaga, then they can offer you, of course, higher rates. Right? For group classes, kasi nga yung tinuturuan mo would be a group of 4, 6, or even 20. So, depende siya. Merong 200 to 400 pesos per 30 minutes. So, yung 1 hour mo would be around 400 to 800 pesos na rin. So, around $9 or more. Right? So, how do they pay you? Pwede po siya through bank transfer. So, usually, BPI, Metro Bank, and BDO. That's what I use. Or, kung direct naman ang student ninyo, they would send you money through PayPal. And then others, kung wala kang bank accounts, companies also offer money remittance. Okay, magpapadala sila yan. And then, the schedule of payment depende sa company. Merong companies that pay bi-monthly. So, that's twice a month. So, katulad ng normal jobs like 15-30. And then, weekly, meron yan every Saturday. Nagpa-payout sila. Or monthly. Yes, merong companies that they offer you payment once a month lang po. Right? So that's it about the ESL industry. Now let's talk about online teaching in general naman. Okay? So because of this pandemic that the whole world is actually experiencing, so a new market actually arose for online teachers. Ito po yung market for Filipino students. Okay? Kasi looking back, 2013, so that's like 8 years ago when I started, mostly yung students lang po namin noon online were Koreans and Japanese. Recently lang naman po nadagdag yung Chinese. Let's say 5 years ago, 7 years ago, nadagdag yung Chinese, okay? And then now because of the pandemic, so marami na po yung mga Filipino students who are also staying at home and studying online. So meron pong new market para sa ating mga teachers. Okay? So, due to the pandemic, a new market was created for online teaching. So, more parents opt to have their kids study at home. And of course, with the parents' limited materials and resources, this is an opportunity for you. So, we take advantage of the situation. Okay? Kasi nga pandemic. So, lahat we do online. So, including na po dyan yung pag-aaral. You'll be surprised na even now that students are actually in the middle of their school year, pero marami pa rin pong parents ang naghahanap ng tutors or online tutors for their kids. Okay? So, meaning, kung hindi pa kaya ng skills mo ang magturo ng English lamang, okay, puro English, okay, which is ESL, then maybe you can also try teaching Filipino students. Magturo ka ng math, na Filipino or science, or whichever subject or field na you feel comfortable or you think na meron akong skills dyan, sige, magturo ka. Right? So, it's an opportunity for you. Okay? Hold on. So how can you start teaching Filipino kids and even start your own online tutorial center? So paano nga ba? How can we find students? Okay. So for now, there may be limited schools or centers that hire teachers to cater Filipino kids. So when you go online, pag nagsisearch po kayo, very limited lang nga naman. Ang makikita ninyong mga schools or academies na nag-hire sila ng online tutors for Filipino kids, right? Pero, don't be disheartened, okay? Huwag mawala ng pag-asa. Kasi you don't have to depend on those schools. Why? Because you can always offer your services independently or even start your own center and create a network of tutors. So, pwede kang mag-start. If you think, okay, let's just finish this. Freedom to choose the subjects to teach, math, science, Filipino, etc. If you think you have the skills in math, for example, kaya mo magturo ng elementary math. Okay? So, pwede kang mag-offer ng iyong services. How? Start with your family and your friends. Okay? So, you make your portfolio, gumawa ka ng like it's like an ad or a poster on Facebook na you are looking for students who want to study math, tapos i-post mo din yung mga credentials mo kung gaano ka kagaling sa math, for example, tapos yung personality mo. So it's like selling yourself. Instead of a product, it's yourself that you're selling. So start with family and friends, okay, na nag-o-offer ka sa mga anak nila. If you want, give free trial classes for their kids, okay? Para matest nila or makita nila kung gaano kakagaling sa pagtuturo. And then, from your friends and your family, then it's just gonna spread through the word of mouth, okay? It's just, you'll be surprised na, oy, meron na magko-contact sa'yo and that they're gonna hire you to be the tutor for their kids. Or you, aside from your friends and your family, you can also like post your ad dun sa mga group pages or pages sa Facebook, like within your village or within your city. Kasi online lang naman, you don't have to go to their houses. So you can conduct classes online and then ikaw din yung pipili ng schedule. Again, I strongly recommend you offer free trial class po muna para ma-assess ng parents, okay, ng bata, if you're really suitable to teach their kid. So, it's like, yan yung inyong investment na nagpa-free trial class kayo para na rin ma-prove ninyo ang inyong skills. Right? So, you can start from there. It's also a good thing for you kasi you set your own rate. Ikaw na yung bahala kung magkano yung i-charge mo per hour. And then, if you already are competent and confident with your skills na, you can ask some of your friends as well na to work with you. So, kung meron kang friend na magaling naman sa Filipino or sa science, o sige, partner na kayo. So, parang you have your own network already of tutors na kayo na yung magpo-provide sa ganitong village or sa ganitong group sa Facebook. You provide your services for their children. Right? So, kung feeling mo hindi ka pa ready to start your career in the ESL industry, you can always start teaching online different subjects naman. Right? So, I really like this topic kasi why is this the best time to learn online teaching? So, bakit nga ba? Gusto ko talaga siyang i-push, okay, na talagang this is the best time, okay, to learn online teaching. This is, I think the right time na parang mas maraming Pinoy ang maging aware about online teaching, okay, and how big the market really is, right? So let's start. Learning English around the world never stops. There is always a company that hires online teachers. This is really true, okay, kasi hindi lang po natin target yung Japan. Hindi lang po natin target yung China. Okay? Napakarami pong countries and the whole world, okay, na their English skills are so limited. Tapos wala po silang makuhang teachers sa kanilang countries. So they still look for Filipino teachers, okay, or ESL teachers. So there will always be a company that hires, okay, online teachers. I-search niyo po, i-Google niyo po ESL companies, okay? Or kahit nasa Facebook na lang, look for groups or pages about of ESL teachers or ESL teaching. You'll be surprised na every day hindi po, I think, it doesn't go below 5 job posts every day. Ganun po kadami yung mga naghahanap ng mga ESL teachers. Right? Next, non-native English-speaking countries want their younger generation to be good English speakers. So as young as 2 or 3 years old, they enroll them in English classes. So yung mga sinabi ko na kanina, non-native English-speaking countries, yung mga matatanda usually parang they find it already hopeless in their case okay, sige, hindi na kami mag-aaral kasi matanda na kami. Let's give our younger generation the chance to learn English. So yan, so as young as 2 years old, nag-aaral na ng English. So, meaning, every time na may mga anak sa kanilang mga countries, meron at meron pa rin po tayong students. Okay? Kasi, they would still want someone who's really confident with their English skills. Hindi naman po sila confident na, okay, sige, nanay na ako, so ako na magtuturo sana ako. Hindi naman, kasi feeling nila they are not that competent to be teachers to their kids. So they would still hire and pay someone to do that job. Right? Next would be learning English online is incorporated in the school curriculum of many countries. This is true po kasi with the company that I'm working for, meron kaming students, it's really like I think it's a high school na meron talaga silang subject in a day na nag-online class sila with Filipino teachers. So one-on-one siya, pero makikita mo talaga sa inyong class, naka-uniform yan sila, tapos isang classroom, mayroon silang different tables, nasa harap sila ng laptops. Tapos each of them are studying or each of them are having classes with Filipino teachers. So naka-incorporate na po sa kanilang mga curriculum yan. So meaning, hindi ka mauubusan ng students kasi every year, tumataas man yung level nila sa high school, for example, may next group of students na naman na that would level up and that would become your students also. Right? Next, university students in certain countries need to prepare for English exams in order for them to get a high-paying job after graduation. This is true po in countries like Korea. Yung mga university students, nag-aaral sila to improve their TOEIC score kasi kailangan nilang mag-prepare at makakuha ng mataas na score kasi yung score na yan ang makakatulong for them to get a high-paying job. So, habang may university student, habang may nag-aaral sa university at gustong makakuha ng work, ng really good work, then that means na mag-aaral din sila ng English online. Right? Next, companies want their employees to be able to communicate in English to be at par with their foreign counterparts. This is true naman for professionals. Merong companies now, especially if they do business with different countries, okay? So, yung mga mga colleagues nila, yung mga partners nila are from different countries, so kailangan talaga nila mag-aral ng English. So, in that case, okay, kahit na nag-work na sila sa company, meron pa rin silang, like, before they go home in the afternoon, they spend like 1 hour para makapag-aral ng English. So, you see, merong students, merong toddlers pa lang nag-aaral na, kahit na professionals, nag-aaral pa rin sila, right? Next, many want to migrate to English-speaking countries, so they want to take English exams first or they want to learn the basic conversation skills. So tulad din natin mga Pinoy, that we often look for the greener pasture, as we say. So marami din sa kanila ang gustong pumunta ng America, ng Australia, they want to live there or work there. So before they do that, kailangan nilang mag-prepare, kailangan nilang ma-improve ang kanilang English skills. So, in order for them to be prepared, kailangan nilang mag-aral with online teachers. So, again, that's another market for us. Okay? And the last one here, we have retirees or old-aged people still want to be productive, so they want to learn a new language despite their age. So, like I mentioned earlier, this is true among Japanese, Kasi nga, bored na sila. They want to like find something really productive to do, or gusto nila hindi ma-bored at home, then they have classes online. So, based on my explanation, as young as 2 years old, yung mga elementary at high school students, university students, professionals, and even retirees, market pa din po natin sila. Right? So, it's really the best time, right, to learn how to teach online. So, where do I start or how? Yan yung often na tanong natin. Saan ako magsisimulan? Paano? Right? So, first, try to assess your English skills. Take grammar tests online. You can do that sa grammarbank.com or oxfordonlineenglish.com. So, automatically, pagkatapos mong sagutin yan, mag-generate yan ng score mo. Doon mo malalaman na, hindi ako masyadong magaling sa grammar. Kailangan ko pang improve ang aking vocabulary. So, assess yourself. Okay? Do some voice recordings. Have your friends evaluate your work. So, you do voice recordings. Meron po mga free apps na pwede kayong record ng sarili ninyo. Okay, like Vocaro, for example. Record mo, tapos you listen to yourself. It's like kumuha ka ng libro, you practice reading, tapos naka-record yung voice mo. Try to listen to yourself. Hindi maganda yung pronunciation ko ng F. May problema ako sa accent, yung mga ganon. And then ask your friends also to evaluate your work. Sabihan mo sila na, try nyo, nyo ako, mag-comment kayo, ano yung mga hindi maganda sa aking recording, yung mga ganon, because they can help you, right? Do your research, look for online ESL companies and go over their requirements, their work schedule, rates, etc. if they suit you. So, napakarami po. Again, just Google those companies, or kahit na sa Facebook. Marami pong Facebook groups or pages na pwede ninyong salihan para makita nyo doon ang different online ESL companies, plus kung ano yung mga requirements nila usually pag nag-hire na sila. Right? And then, of course, lastly, work on your English skills, develop a good English foundation, explore and continuously improve yourself through self-taught materials, join ESL support groups on Facebook, and take a course or training as well. Yes, marami pong available resources for us to improve our skills. So, mayroong YouTube, right? Mayroong Facebook groups. But then, I still highly recommend that you undergo trainings also or courses. Free man siya or paid, they have their own advantages. Kasi po, marami din naman na there are a lot of things, okay? Marami kayong matututunan sa trainings or courses na hindi din po ninyo maririnig or matutunan sa YouTube, okay, or sa Facebook groups. So, meron pa din something new for you to learn, right? So, now let's talk about the short course na ino-offer ng FH Moms, which is the English Proficiency and ESL online teaching. So, yung goal po from the word English proficiency, yung main focus niya po is really to improve muna yung English skills. Kasi paano ka nga naman maging confident na magturo ng ESL kung hindi ka masyadong confident sa skills mo, kung wala ka pang masyadong magandang background or foundation. Right? So, the training, okay, starts off with grammar topics. Yung grammar topics po na ito are handpicked and chosen based on the experience na ito yung mga weakness ng mga Pinoy. Okay? So here you will learn the different parts of speech. Yung diniscuss dito are 4, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and prepositions. Kasi sila yung mga pinaka-common na may mga errors yung mga Pinoy. Example, with verbs. Hindi natin alam ano ba yung ginagamit. Doesn't go, doesn't goes, yung mga ganun. Didn't went, didn't go, ano ba yung tama, 'di ba? In prepositions, hindi natin alam in ba, on, or at, ano ba yung gagamitin. So again, yung topics po discussed are those topics na that would really help you na ma-address yung mga common errors ng mga Pinoy. We have modals like the can, could, should, must, may, yung mga ganon. If conditions, kung kailan tayo gagamit ng if I go, if I went, yung mali pala pag sinabi natin na if I will go, mali pala siya. Yung passive sentences or yung passive voice, kasi marami sa atin ang hindi familiar dito. Yung articles, kailan tayo gumagamit ng a, an, or the. Like, bakit tayo gumagamit ng the sa Philippines? Why do we say the Philippines? But we only say Japan or Korea. Yung mga ganon. And then, we also have discussion about some, any, much, many, few, and little. Yung gerunds and infinitives, sila yung mga, they look like verbs but they do not function as verbs sa sentence natin. Yung mga verb na may ing or yung mga to plus verb. Tapos, meron ding discussion about adjectives plus prepositions. Dapat pala, ang tama dyan is good at. Hindi pala pwedeng good in. Mga ganon. Verbs plus prepositions. Mali pala, or sorry, hindi mali, but magkaiba pala yung throw something to, tsaka throw something at. So, pareho yung verb, pero iba-iba yung preposition. Magkaiba din pala yung meaning. Mga ganon. Right? So, there are grammar topics na makakatulong talaga siya. Of course, meron ding pronunciation topics. Again, yung ina-address nito is yung common problems ng mga Pinoy, yung vowel sounds na hindi pala dapat hat, yung sombrero, dapat pala hat. Okay? Hindi pala siya dapat bank, yung bangko, but bank. Alright? Yung consonant sounds naman kasi marami sa atin ang hindi sanay sa F sound tsaka sa V sound kasi wala siya sa ating wala siya sa Filipino or sa Tagalog. Silent letters, hindi pala tayo nagsasabi ng salmon or almond, okay? Mayroon pala mga silent letters kaya sinasabi pala natin dapat is salmon or almond, yung mga ganon. Yung S endings, hindi pala lahat ng words na nag-i-end sa S yung pronunciation, iba-iba pala sila. Meron ding ED endings, hindi pala lahat ng words na nag-i-end sa ED, same pronunciation, iba-iba din. And then, of course, there is American accent training para maintindihan lang natin yung mga native speakers or yung mga naririnig natin ng mga foreigners, ba't hindi ko sila naintindihan? Kasi pala dinudugtong-dugtong nila yung mga words. So that is discussed in the American accent training. And of course, there would be topics on ESL online teaching. Okay, so again, introduction to the ESL industry, tools, equipment, and system requirements. Ito yung I think would be very helpful. Ano ba yung kailangan mong skills or traits para maging successful ka na ESL teacher? And then also, ano yung tamang teaching style and approach? Depende sa kung anong klase ng students na meron ka. And then, different ESL classes and how they're conducted. So, paano ka ba magkakonduct dapat ng grammar class or ng conversation class, right? And of course, tips in creating resumes fit for an ESL post, recording voice introduction, and acing your interviews and demo classes. So, there will be tips that would be shared kung paano mo dapat gawin ang resume mo na maging attractive siya para i-hire ka as an ESL teacher. Or, ano ba yung dapat mong sinasabi sa iyong voice recording. And of course, what are the things that you should and you shouldn't say during your interview. And then, yung sa demo class, kasi ito talaga yung make or break point mo. Paano nga ba mag-conduct ng demo class? Paano mo siya dapat maipasa? Alright? So, those topics are discussed in FH Mom's short course on English proficiency and ESL online teaching. Right? So that's it for our webinar tonight. So yan po, I hope with the things that I have shared with you, sana marami kayong natutunan, and I really hope that I was able to help you out as well. sana naman ma-encourage din kayo to try on this field of ESL teaching. Kasi the market is actually there. Okay? Yung kailangan lang talaga natin is to have that confidence and courage to try this field. Okay? So, paano kayo magkaka-courage? So, dapat talaga, okay, you have to give it a try. Siyempre, assess mo yung sarili mo kung carry mo ba yung pagtuturo, right? And then, it's simply, let's say, simply a way of you also asking yourself, is teaching the job that I want to do? Okay, yan siya eh. So, kung feeling mo, masaya naman ako nagtuturo sa aking mga anak. O, yun. So, it's a good, let's say, we can say it's a good stepping stone for you. Like I always tell my trainees, swerte nating mga nanay kasi meron tayong mga anak na pwede nating pag-practicean. Okay, we can always practice with our kids. So, that's really a good opportunity for us. Para dun pala sa mga anak natin, ma-develop na natin yung ating confidence, diba? Alright, so, meron bang mga questions dyan? Meron mga gustong itanong, perhaps? I don't know, hold on, my screen is